My name is Fred Shilson. I'm the membership secretary at QP Local 79. I'm also a city worker who works in senior services and long-term care. In 2007, I started working for the City of Toronto at Kipling Acres as a food service worker. And over the years, I've migrated to working my way up to working in the IT department for senior services and long-term care as of last year when I began my term as membership secretary. I've been with the City of Toronto for approximately 22 years at this point. I'm deputing in front of you today because the city's long-term care division is on the brink of collapse. Every day, Local 79 hears from members in long-term care who tell us that they're overworked, they're understaffed, and they simply cannot do the work that they're required to do and maintain the standard of care that's expected within our city's homes. I'd like to start with a little bit of a story, the variations of which we hear frequently in our city homes. Marisol is a food service worker. She's part-time working in long-term care.
This is related to the operating variance report, right?
Correct, okay. Yes. So in a daily shift, Marisol is responsible for prepping food and heating it up, working in a hot and steamy servery on one of our homes on the floors. She then has to offer the food to each resident. And as you know, residents are given two options for their food. So she has to collect everything, make the choice, dole up the food, pass it on to a PSW, who then feeds the resident, and then she goes and picks up the food, brings it back, and cleans it. That's a lot of work for Marisol. And the kicker is that she has to do all this work in about 3 hours. That's the shift length for many food service workers working in senior services and long-term care. They actually have some of the shortest shifts at the City of Toronto. The shift is so short, in fact, that other workers have had to adjust their duties to pitch in because it's simply not possible to accomplish all of these tasks in 3 hours. I want you to remember the story about Marisol as I continue. In front of you, you have the operating variance report that outlines the $15.4 million in surplus that's projected by year end for senior services and long-term care, largely due to underspending on salaries and benefits. Now, let me read out to you the actual raw vacancy numbers that we received from the division earlier this month for the city's long-term care homes. The numbers I'm going to read out to you are what we consider permanent full-time positions. At Bendel Acres, there's 65 workers. Carefree Lodge, there's 16 workers. Castleview Witchwood Towers, 111. Comer Lodge, 76. Fudger House, 48. Kipling Acres, 32. Lakeshore Lodge, 22. Seven Oaks, 42. True Davidson Acres, 21. Westburn Manor, 29. That's a total of 462 full-time Local 79 vacancies that are currently not occupied, with our local having approximately 4,200 staff working in senior services and long-term care, which makes up almost a 12% vacancy rate. The majority of workers in this division do not look like me. They're mostly racialized folk, mostly women. Many have families to look after and have been with the City of Toronto for a long time, dedicating their careers for caring for the people who need the care desperately. 30% of the workers in long-term care are full-time, and the remaining overwhelming majority of 70% are part-time employees. Now let me tell you what that actually looks like at our homes. Workers are not getting enough time off or even appropriate sick time because of being so short-staffed. There's unsafe working conditions for workers, from PSWs to food service workers to RNs who are desperately trying to serve residents to the best of their abilities. We have dozens of outstanding grievances, many more than any other City of Toronto division, from workers being disciplined for simply not being able to keep up with the demands of a chronically understaffed workplace. As a long-term care worker at the City of Toronto and an elected member of Local 79, I must ask the City of Toronto to do what is right this year and fill these vacancies, specifically in long-term care. We know what is necessary to attract and retain workers. It's good pay, decent working conditions, good shifts, and respect. Today, I'm sad to say that the City of Toronto rarely meets all of these requirements. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.